Welcome back to IGN Live at Gamescom, brought to you by Homefront The Revolution. Now it's time to take a look at a very interesting game called AER. Robin is here to tell us all about it. Robin, spill the beans. What is this game?
Okay, so in AER you play as a girl from a nomad tribe of the islands in the sky. So you're quite special. You are a shapeshifter. So you will transform into a bird and you will fly to explore and experience a world of floating islands, basically. What we can see here is that we are in the very beginning of the game. I mean, this is an alpha build, so it's just the first iterations. But anyway, so we are kind of like she's going to a specific part of the world called the Land of Gods. She's on a pilgrimage because this ability is quite rare. So she's going to follow in the footsteps of an old legend, but quite soon realize that not everything is right, you know.
Okay.
So from there, we just want to set the player free in this open, colorful, low-poly world and let them explore the world at their will, to go to different locations with story and objectives, to complete them in the order they want to. So this game, for us, is like all about the feeling of exploration, so it's designed around that pattern.
Is it an adventure game?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say so.
Okay.
Like
So-
an exploration adventure.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That's relative to my interests.
Yeah, awesome.
So can she transform into a bird at any time?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's totally seamless. You'll see it a bit later in the video and or the gameplay. So you'll just jump off from anywhere, from any island, any cliff, and just transform into a bird and just fly, and you can land everywhere at every place, and you can fly seamlessly between the different island clusters in the game. So yeah. And we have kind of this two parts of the world. So basically, in this land of God, it's called that because there are temples from an old civilization here, which is kind of old and forgotten. And you will traverse down into these temples and to caves to search for clues about what's happening. So we have these two worlds, to speak, this overworld where you fly around and everything is colorful and vibrant, and we want to push this playful feeling and a living world feeling as much as possible, just giving the player the ability to fly around and explore at will. And then when you enter these kind of caves and interiors, it's gonna shift the gameplay a bit. You will have a more linear gameplay with platforming and puzzle elements and a bit of sneak gameplay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are those like dungeons?
Dungeons, and I wouldn't say dungeons,
Okay.
but you know, similar to them in a way,
Okay.
because you have to go through them to get all the story parts to progress through the game, basically. Yeah.
So there's all these floating islands, and she can fly from island to island.
Yeah.
Is it all seamless? There's no like loading screen?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Except when going down into these interiors.
Yeah.
So, but otherwise, you kind of like want to create this continuous flow of gameplay at all times. So we don't want it to be like loading times and stuff, but because we just break the flow, basically. Yeah.
So did we start from the beginning of the game, or are we somewhat?
Yeah. So this is, as I said, like the first iteration of the intro of the game. So this is where you first arrive to this world, and this place in the world, and you're at the moment you have visited like a small little village with people who live here, one little outpost, and we're on our way to the first stop on this pilgrimage, which is this old legend, this priestess from an old times, her tomb. You're gonna go there and pay your respect, basically, and from there the story will move forward, so to speak. So yeah.
What's the overall objective of the game?
Yeah. Okay. So we want it to be kind of this mysterious kind of plot that we don't, where you don't really understand everything. But basically, you're going to encounter something in the cave, and you'll do it in just a few minutes, and you can't really understand what this is at the moment, and you probably want to know because it's big and badass, and you will start to seek the counsel of these gods from this old civilization who will reside down in these temples. So you'll try to get information from them and try to figure out everything that's happening, and every step will take you a bit closer to the end of the world, basically. So you will see what you can do to like prevent it from happening.
Sure.
Yeah. So also with kind of like this overworld experience, we want to add as much kind of reaction to the player's presence as possible to make it just fun to land on different islands. And we also, I mean, I told you it was all about exploration, right? And we tried to design the game around this premise. So we put in a modular story to be able to pick up the pieces in the order you want to and puzzle it together in your mind. We want to add like a lot of feedback from nature, like reacting of animals and from vegetation, and we have this free flight mechanic, and it extends to music evolving as you fly around these islands, different zones. So basically give a lot of this positive reinforcement, different zones and different aesthetic impressions, and at the same time have these lore snippets and story snippets that you can pick up that will hook you forward to move forward and find more places in this world. So now we can see that we enter this cave that is the tomb of this priestess, and we're kind of like going down to the main room at the moment.
Now, in terms of enemies, do we encounter them in caves? Are they also up in the in the overworld?
As I said, we have like these two contrasting game modes or worlds, and the overworld will be much more about like playfulness and positive reinforcement. And I mean, we always say that experience is more important than the challenge. But as we have like this kind of more linear places in the interiors, we want to add tension and a different pacing to the game. So it's down there that you'll encounter this kind of creature, and that's also because the evil of this world has a stronger presence in here, so to speak. It hasn't really reached the outside yet.
I see.
So now you are walking up to the statue, and we'll see what happens when you approaches. So yeah, basically, what happened here is this lantern that she is holding kind of presented itself to the main character. And when she picks it, this kind of event happens, but we can't really understand it. So this lantern is also an integral part of kind of mechanic of the world. So of course it can shine light up on dark places, so you can have the ability to see when it's dark, but it's also an artifact from this old world with some magic powers. One of them is to be able to shine light upon these ghostly figures, like memories frozen in the time from when the world broke up into these pieces. We'll use this as a storytelling tool, painting up different scenes from when this happened. It's also, like I said, like an artifact from this old civilization. So these people from this old time had some kind of advanced technology that harnessed the magic of the world. And this lantern will be a key to integrate or interact with different elements in their architecture, and this will be used to solve puzzles and progress through these levels.
Can we expect boss fights in the caves, or is it more about...
Yeah, we try to avoid fighting as much as possible. It's
avoid fighting.
Yeah. So it's more about like exploring different places, finding new information, and the tension we add to the gameplay is through the sneaking mechanics and stealth and the stealth gameplay. So we're not gonna have boss fights, but we are gonna have like these big kind of epic moments where you get to encounter the gods of this old world and see what they have to say and how they can help you forward, basically.
Okay, so we go into this cave, we find this lantern. How do we know what to do next?
Yeah, so basically what we want to do, you saw in the beginning you flew with another bird, and that's the mentor of our character. He's also a shapeshifter, and he will always be a point that you can return to get some more information about what's going on or ask what's happening. There's also going to be like the other villagers, and there's also going to be some kind of spirit animals spread out through the world so you can talk to them. But we don't want to tell too much to the player. We want to let them explore freely and try to find these different places. So we're going to have like three distinct zones with one temple in each, but you're not like locked into having to go in them in a specific order. You can just try to go the way you want to at the moment and just explore to find different things to progress forward, basically.
So you have this very, very bright and colorful art style. Can you speak to what was the inspiration for that?
Yeah, that takes us back a while. I mean, we started with the project when doing bachelor thesis projects in school.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so we had two different sides of it, where we were 4 people, two each writing on one different paper, basically. So from my side, it was more about kind of methods in working with aesthetic games, and from the other side, it was like how to make a game world inspired by cubism. So I wouldn't say that it's maybe cubism now, but that's where it started, and we kind of evolved it into something else. And it was always great fun looking at it. It was like really stood out. It was beautiful, and we also like learned that it has some advantages purely technical. So we could like build this large world with a small team, and we could like have this large view distances. And yeah, that's on the way.
So what's the release plan?
The release plan. Okay, so we're gonna release it sometime during 2016. So
Okay.
yeah, we at Forgotten Key develops, and Dedelic will help us with publishing and get it out there to the players, basically.
What platforms?
It's going for Steam with Windows, Mac, Linux, and also for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So yeah,
Cool.
where are we gonna play?
All right, Robin, thank you so much for coming by the show.
Thank you.
The game is called AER. Look for it next year. Stay tuned. More to come from IGN Live at Gamescom after this.
Awesome.